Man, we've jumped out of the frying pan into the damn freezer. It is 0 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. It's crazy cold, crazy cold. Welcome back, everybody, to Empyrion Galactic Survival on Alpha 10.5 Experimental. I'm an old guy gaming, and I'm stuck in a box. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see that we do have radiated fog. It started coming in while I was still actually out and about getting another load of blocks from our original camp location. And so I took some radiation, body radiation. I've got 0.4. You can see that in the upper right-hand corner, or you can see it right here. But I managed to enclose myself in a little cube here before it got serious. So now basically all I can do at this point is just wait out the storm. It shouldn't be too much longer because I've been waiting for actually quite some time. And hopefully it'll be over soon and then I can continue work on the base. Now, as far as the body radiation goes, as far as I know, the only way to remove that is to take a shower. I don't have radiation poisoning, but I do have body radiation. Excuse me, and I don't think that if I make the radiation ointment, which I don't currently have the ingredients for anyway, that will remove that, but I'm not positive about that. So if I can find the ingredients, mushrooms is what I'm lacking, I think, the most. To make that, I might make one ointment and just take it and see if it wears off. If it doesn't, then we'll have to probably find a Polaris station on the planet. I'm sorry, I'm having some mild allergy issues today, so my nose is already... It's still green out, but... Oh, shit. Okay. The storm's over, but the radiation hasn't left yet. So let's let's put that back. Anyway. Yeah, so we have to watch the number in the upper right-hand corner that says 6.6 and wait for that to drop down, because that's what it's telling me it is outside. So when that drops down low enough meaning that the suit can protect us up to 4 rads. So when that gets down to 4 rads, then we should be able to go outside and be okay. But anyway, I might have to find a Polaris settlement to find a shower to remove that. Or maybe it wears off over time. I'm not really sure. But anyway, sorry for the sniffles. If you guys know the answer to that, let me know. If there's another way to remove that aside from, taking the shower. And maybe the radiation ointment does remove that, but I thought the radiation ointment, it was only for removing actual radiation poisoning, which we don't have yet because we didn't take enough radiation. Anyway, that's where we're at. So I'm going to wait for the outside radiation to drop down to 4, and then I'm going to continue working on the base. I'm going to just continue doing a few things off camera, and then I'll bring you guys back here in just a little bit with an update on how we're doing, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'll see you here in a bit. All right, guys, radiation storm's over, and so what I did was I made myself a chainsaw, and we got 5 biofuels in our inventory, and we're going to go over to this other wooden area, and we're going to cut down some trees for some wood so I can keep my biofuel going, because I'm out of wood for biofuel. But I don't want to cut the trees down near our base. I want to keep those trees up there just so everything, we keep the cool look to the place for one thing, but also use those trees for a little bit of cover from the drones. So we're going to just kind of come over here, maybe even to the back end of this oasis area, and just kind of cut these trees down that aren't really going to be in our view. Now, I'm pretty sure they'll come back eventually anyway, but I just want to make sure of that. Okay, so yep, basically I'm just going to cut a bunch of wood here, get a whole mess of it, as much as I can probably carry, and 87. Yeah, get as much as I can carry, take it back, and just put it in our dedicated fuel producing constructor. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish burrowing out the tunnel underneath our base out into the water, the access tunnel for the core. And when I'm finished doing all that, then I'll bring you back at that point and give you an update on where we are, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'll be back in just a bit. Man, we've jumped out of the frying pan into the damn freezer. It is 0 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. It's Crazy cold, crazy cold. I mean, compared to how hot it was when we started, that's pretty damn cold. So let's see. We are at about 516 wood right now. So just about maxed out, but I'm probably going to run out of fuel before I max out the wood. But we got 90 logs, so that should give us a nice little supply of fuel. Okay, we got warmed back up there. So let's just keep going. I should have maybe brought like one more fuel with me, which probably would have completely filled me up, but we might still make it though. We'll see how things go. It just really kind of depends. You know, some of these trees give you like one thing, and then others give you like up to 5. So it's just a little bit of a crapshoot as to how much wood you get from these guys. So let's try this one here. See, that's 2 logs. And that's 2 logs. This one might give us a little more. Let's try this one. Okay, 5 logs from that guy. Yeah, alright, good. I've always been a little bit amused by Empyrion because you can find really physically large trees and cut them down and they still only give you like 1 or 2. And then these little trees can give you like even more, so it's really funny. Let's see if we can get 5 out of this one too. That's only 2, and that was a huge tree. Alright, time to put the heater down again. Yep, I know I'm feeling cold. Got 3 wood. Okay, so we are completely full. Can we pick that up? Okay, good. 598. Yeah, we're just gonna have to leave those there, I guess. Okay, so we've got 106 wood. Nice. That should give us a nice little supply of biofuel. We're gonna go back and stick that in, and then I'm going to start working on burrowing the tunnel. I just wanted to bring you back, mostly just to show you that this planet does indeed get extremely cold too, in addition to hot. So we got the temperature. Got to deal with the temperature from both ends of the spectrum here. Whoops. Alright, so this is our dedicated fuel machine for the moment. Do we have any wood at all in here? We have 4, so let's maybe keep 10 in there, and then the rest of this is going to be made right up into fuel. So I'll just queue a bunch of those up. Let's check our oxygen and water here. We're doing good on that. Really good. Put the rest of that in there. All of that can go in there, and let's make up this meat while the making's good. And we've got where are we? Okay, so we got almost another full stack of spare oxygen in addition to the 2 that I already have in my toolbar. So I don't think we're going to have any more trouble with oxygen here in our playthrough. So let's keep about 5 of those on our inventory, just so we have them if we need them. And so what's going to happen now is I'm going to go down into the tunnel here and start working on burrowing the rest of that out. And the plan is going to be that we're going to burrow it out all the way to the water, and this will be our access tunnel to get back to our core if it gets taken over by the Xerax. So that is the plan. Let's go ahead and clear this out a little bit more. And I may end up putting some elevators or something in here so we can get to it from both sides. I haven't decided that yet. We'll see. Pretty sure the Xerax wouldn't come down the elevator to get to the core, but they might. I don't know. I'm not sure what they would do. Okay, so we kind of started it earlier. We should be going to the south. Well, the mini map is the direction my character's facing, not the direction that my drone's facing, because this core is facing directly to the south. It almost does look like we might be off a little bit, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the tunnel doesn't have to be perfectly straight anyway. We want it to be relatively straight, but it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Oh shit, we got a bug somewhere. You gotta watch out for these guys. I'm gonna have to physically get down in the tunnel anyway, because we can't. Our drone, we'll run out of range with our drone. Okay, so we got 10 things of food. We got plenty of oxygen. I just want to make sure that we're well supplied when we go down there. And so yeah, let's go ahead and drop on down. Okay. Yep, that's on resource drill. Alright guys, well, I will bring you back in a little while once we get this tunnel finished. Alright guys, we are back, and look at that beautiful pink sunrise. Looks good. Okay, so let's see, where are we at? I have made myself a box as our starting base here. And I have all the walls in place and the doors, and that's about all the further I've gotten so far with that. I do have a container up here that we're storing XS supplies in. And then out here, I moved the 2 oxygen condensers over next to the side of the house, and I made one more portable. Actually, I made 2 more portable constructors, and I'm going to keep 1 in my inventory moving forward, and then have 3 there. So this one's kind of more like food and medical types of stuff. This one's general all-purpose types of stuff, and this one's dedicated at the moment to making fuel. So that's kind of where we're at. I finished the tunnel as well, and so it basically, the entrance of it is right out about in the middle of the water here, and it goes all the way back under, of course, to where our core is. And I'll take you down there in a little while and kind of show you that. So what I want to do now is I want to work on some of the base essential items, get those done, and then the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to start thinking about making ourselves a hovercraft. Okay, so let's take a look at our points here. And so we'll focus on base stuff first. So we definitely need a fuel tank. We want an O2 station. I am level 5, but let's get the level 2 stuff first. So we want a small Jenny, plant grow light, a small constructor, ammo box. Oh, I guess I think when I click on that it learns it, but I've got to actually do this or double click it. Okay, so all of that, all of that, all of that, all of this essential stuff. The food processor. 24 points. Yeah, let's hold off on the food processor, because I mean, I can make food stuff, you know, the real basic food stuff in the constructors. So now let's see, large constructor. We could just go ahead and bite the bullet and do that right now. I mean, we're going to need to at some point. But before we do that, let's look at hover vessel stuff. I've got 19 points. What is absolutely essential for a hover vessel? We need cargo boxes. We really should have RCSs. We're going to, of course, want the harvest module, so that gets us down to 10 points. Spotlight's going to be important. We want hover engines, normal thrusters, and that's pretty much all the further we can go with the points that we currently have. So okay, all right, so now we can get a fuel tank, oxygen tank made. Probably the first thing we should do though is get the small constructor made up. Of course, that's probably going to require power. Does that require power? I can't remember if it does or not. Let's just assume that it does. Maybe it doesn't, but let's just assume that it does, and we probably better make the generator first. and the fuel tank. All right, so let's work on that. Because once we can get power... Oh, shoot, we need a ventilator, too. I should have probably done that next. Oh, do we already know it? Where's the ventilator? Oh, maybe it's just something that we automatically know. Okay. Is that something we can make in here? Ventilator. I don't know. Not sure. Okay, well, let's start with the generator and the fuel tank. We got to have those things to get going. And then we're going to, probably the next most important thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make a small constructor. Because I don't even see the option to make an O2 tank here. It's interesting, though, that it's a level 1 item, but you can't make it in here. That's very odd. Well, yeah, because we got the base filter on. Oh. No, that's for SV and HVs, though. That's not for bases. So, yeah, weird. Okay, I guess we have to make that in the small constructor, then. Oh, I also wanted to make a water generator, too. Let's queue up one of those. Got some extra shotgun shells that we made up. That's going to take a while. Yes, indeed it is. I wonder if we should transfer a few things over to one of these other constructors. This one is not doing anything. And make some of that over there. So yeah, let's do that. Let's grab some of the basic stuff here. And we've got, let's alternate. So we'll make the fuel tank and the water cooler, or water generator rather, over here. So fuel tank and the, oh, what are we missing? Motor and optical fiber. Okay. Maybe we need more of this. I don't want to take too much out though, so so this doesn't get made. What about that? Nope, it's still not enough. Okay, well, let's just make the fuel tank in here for now, and then we'll go from there. I think I am going to move this stuff back over because I don't want to risk not being able to make this. Okay, well, let's take a look at our tunnel then, I guess, while we're waiting for all that stuff. So we need to go to the south here. Now, keep in mind, too, this is just the very beginnings of our base. And later on, I'll probably make some modifications to it, make it look a little fancier than just your regular concrete box there. But that's what we're going to do for now. The one of the downsides to using the more decorative blocks is they don't have as many hit points as just the regular blocks. So even the rounded corners, that I put on there have less hit points than the, than just the normal cube blocks. So that's a thing to consider in the very early game when you're still just trying to get a leg up here. So yeah, this tunnel comes out into the water here. Definitely far enough out to where, I'm not going to be getting shot at anything. Any drones or anything, if the Zerax do take over the base. And so the tunnel came out here. The tunnel's kind of janky because I started going too high, so I had to kind of redo it, and it's a little messed up, but it's good enough. It gets the job done. We're gonna come all the way out to here before the the water, our head gets in the water. Water's really strange in Empyrion, how it works. It doesn't work like normal water. So anyway, this is the tunnel here. And we can even get on our bike. But like I said, it's not super even, but that's okay. It wasn't really that big of a deal to me, you know, to get it super even. Just so we can get through it. That's the main thing. And then that brings us down to our core. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little container down here next to the core with a spare core in it, as well as like a shotgun and some shotgun shells, just something to destroy the enemy's core. Eventually, we'll just have explosives when we, you know, can afford to make those. And then I might go ahead and actually put an elevator going back up there too, and then like a trapdoor in the floor kind of idea. Just because, you know, otherwise the only way to get out of here is to run all the way back out here and then run all the way back again, which is kind of a pain in the butt. The only time we'll ever actually use this tunnel, though, on the other hand, is if we need to retake our base. So I don't know, we'll see. Not going to do that right now, though, because elevators are not the highest priority for the stuff that we need to learn. Let's get a little bit of food here. It's funny that the butterflies are down here in the tunnel. Tunnel butterfly. So yeah, we're made some pretty good progress today on all this stuff. So hopefully by the end of this episode, or maybe more accurately before the beginning of the next episode, we'll have all the essentials going on in the base. And like I said, I want to start working on getting a hovercraft made. But we have to build a little factory before we can do that. According to the rules of this super hard playthrough. So that's got to happen first. And then once we can build a hovercraft, you know, then we're going to do some exploring. That'll be kind of the next thing on the list. I'm not really planning on bothering with the quests here in this playthrough. For one thing, they give you free stuff, which is okay for a normal playthrough, but you know, we're going hard mode here, so we don't want anything just handed to us. And the quests, you know, I don't know if they've done any improvements to them at all in 10.5, but they don't work very well in my experience anyway. They've got issues and they need some work. They're fun. One of the things I did in Season 1 is I basically did every quest in the game except for the Xerax. Because it's kind of like, you know, you either do the Xerax quest or you do all the other ones, but you can't do them both. I mean, you could, but, you know, you'd lose all the rep and you'd have to gain it all back, and I didn't. I ended the season before I got that far with it, so. Okay, let's see. So we've got our generator, and we just about have our small constructor. We got our fuel tank. Okay, so let's see. What else did we want to make? We wanted to make a water generator. Let's just move all this stuff back over to here. And then, yeah, see, we're still short. Probably copper would be my guess is what we're short on. Oh, wait a minute. I'm in the wrong constructor. Never mind. Okay, good. We got our small constructor. And so what else were we trying to make for the base? See, this is a SVHV oxy tank, so we can't make that. Oh, yeah, we could make a clone chamber, I guess. You know, to set the spawn point. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea. But let's see. Let's get a water generator going first, because we're going to need that to start producing oxygen before we can pressurize the base. And then after that, I suppose a clone chamber makes sense so that we can set our spawn point. We'll replace that with a medical bay once we're big enough to make a medical bay. Alright. Doesn't look like we can make the large solar panels in here, so I'm not going to bother with solar power until we can make the large solar panels, which we might be able to do here in the small constructor. So let's go ahead and set these two things down. So for the Jenny, we're just going to put that like up on the roof here, or on the ceiling rather. Kind of keep it up out of the way. And then the fuel tank will obviously be replacing this with larger fuel tanks when we can afford to do so, but for now we'll just keep it up there. And then the small constructor, let's just put it right inside the door for now. But what I'm going to do eventually is I'll probably have two large constructors, which will then eventually become two advanced constructors, probably in that corner. So let's grab all of the fuel. Well, here, let's actually look at something. Does this need power to operate? I don't know. Let's go ahead and assign it the container. I mean, that would suggest that it's turned on. Kind of looks like it's turned on. So let's grab a few resources. Just some iron. Here, let's do this. Let's grab half of this wood and just see if we can use it to make some fuel without actually having to power it up. So we're gonna have to put the wood in here. We can. Okay, good. I thought this thing... Well, okay, wait a minute. Is it working or not? Maybe it's not working. Okay, so I guess it does require power. I suppose we could look at that here. Yeah, okay, so that it does require power. Okay, I just couldn't remember if it did or not. So we are going to have to power up the base then. I was going to wait on that if we could use this, you know, ahead of time, but if we can't, then it is what it is. Okay, so we'll probably pull just about damn near all of this stuff out of here and put it in here. I would kind of like to make an input-output, though, just so everything's not all in the same place. So maybe we'll do that. So let's go... Well, actually, we got to power things up first. So we're gonna... What did I do with all the fuel? Did I put it in here? Let's take a full stack and throw it in here. And that still only gives us 42% power, even with the full stack of biofuel. I want to save my promethium for charges until we get more. I'm not going to turn that into fuel yet. So we've got 6 cans there. These guys, what do these guys look like? Let's top them off. We need some fuel for the water Jenny, though, too, so we don't want to burn it all up. There we go. In fact, well, let's see, that gives us 16, and we have 11 in there. Yeah, let's go set the water generator up first before we expend the rest of our fuel here in the base. We'll just take this and put it right out on the shore here. And I'll eventually have a couple of these, but this will get us started. Oh, this water's source quality is 80%. Very nice. It's only like something like 14% on our little condenser. You know what, though? Now that I think about it, the condenser doesn't actually draw from the water. It draws from the air, so... And because it's so damn dry here, that's probably why it was so low. Okay, so good. That's going to make big oxygen for us, which we can use to pressurize our base once we can make the rest of the components. All right. Well, I think that's about it, guys. Let's go ahead and power things up. I don't think this will call in the drones. As far from what I understand, I don't know this for a fact, but from what I understand, I don't think the drones show up until you put guns up. I hope I'm right about that. If it isn't, then we might be in for a surprise. Okay, now this guy's working. So let's go ahead and make another cargo box. And we're going to look and see if this will make a base. Alright, why am I not seeing the oxygen tank for a base? What am I missing here? So we're on base. We know how to make a small O2 tank. Really? You can only make this in a large constructor? Why? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. But that's what it's telling me, yeah. The light blue and the red dot mean large constructor and advanced constructor only. Why? Why would you have a level 1 item, an essential level 1 item, that can only be made in the big constructor? That doesn't add up. That doesn't compute in my brain. I'm just saying. Okay, well, we have to wait until we get more points before we can make the large constructor. But one thing we can do is we can go ahead and assign another input and output. So let's get that, whoops, flipped around that way and then that way. And we will group all of our stuff. And we're going to call this container here input. And we'll rename this one output. Okay. And then this is assigned to input. This is assigned to output. Very good. So let's grab everything out of here that's a resource and throw it into here. Oh yeah, we got to put our clone chamber down too, don't we? And this is just basically storage and you know, output, of course, from whatever we're making here. And then what I might do, I might just leave that stuff in there because I don't think the small constructor can make food and medical. We need a food processor. We need a food processor for that. Right? Yeah, because it doesn't look like there's any recipes in there. So we can keep that stuff in there, and then what we'll do is we'll just double up our fuel production. And I'm probably going to go chop down a bunch more trees off camera too. Okay, the final piece to put in place for this episode is our clone chamber. And let's just stick that over here for now. And all this does is set our spawn point. Like I said, we will replace this with a medical bay once we can make one. Alright guys, I think that wraps up this episode. So we made pretty good progress on the base here. But I'm going to definitely be working towards, as soon as possible, working towards getting the place pressurized. And then start working, like I said, on a hovercraft. But before we can do the hovercraft, we have to build our factory, which is going to be built out in the back 40 here. I might even make it adjacent to, you know, to the main building, at least for starters. And I'm going to make it large enough to where we can, you know, build a small to mid-sized small vessel and a small to mid-sized hover vessel. And then later on, if we need to expand it and make it larger, we will. But it's just going to be, you know, a pretty basic structure for starters. Okay, guys, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to consider sharing out the video and leaving comments. Those things do help the channel, and I appreciate it a whole lot. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.